That's why you're still here. You ain't here because it's been easy. You ain't here because you're tough. There are people standing here who wanted to die. To die. But he kept you alive. Because you are blessed. And there may be famines and there may be trouble up ahead. You may go through some tough stuff. I'm not telling you that blessed means Rolls Royces and Mercedes and Kool-Aid coming out your water fountain. No. Being blessed means being a target. Being blessed means withstanding storms. Being blessed means being able to stand on your own 2 feet by yourself and say that if God be for me, he's more than the world against me.
Manasseh Jordan has finally found a proper team of lawyers for this, because this is a specialized situation, and 100% moving forward.
Hi everyone, happy Monday. I hope you're off to a wonderful week. I've been getting caught up on a lot of things due to being on jury duty for the past 2 weeks. So during that time, I had taken a break from social media, TV, radio, etc. But I wanted to share a few thoughts on Bishop TDJ's sermon from Sunday, January 14th. This was last Sunday, not yesterday, but last Sunday. And it was called Blessed by the Best. And yes, I attended service from my couch. Now, I also want to discuss Larry Reid's live update on the allegations against TD Jakes made by Manasseh Jordan. Now, while I was on jury duty, or during the time I was on jury duty, Larry did a live giving an update on the TD Jakes saga. Now, he said that Manasseh plans to tell his story by filing a claim against TD Jakes through the court system. Larry says none of this would be happening to TD Jakes had he never associated himself with Diddy. And he wonders how the conversations between TD Jakes and Diddy are going. During this live, Larry claims that Manasseh has obtained a group of lawyers who specializes in, well, I really wasn't clear on what they specialize in or what their specialty is. Nonetheless, he has lawyers and he's ready to file his story, according to Larry. Larry claims Manasseh will be filing by the end of January, so here we are awaiting Manasseh to tell his story through the court.
Granted, a complaint is just a complaint. A complaint is just a story, and it cannot be the true or legitimate. However, sometimes it is a look into the truth. That's why we believe P. Diddy is guilty, and we believe that he was wrong, because this, I forgot, I think her complaint was 30 or 70 pages, something like that. We just believe that that's the truth. But a complaint don't mean, it's just like getting online and somebody telling their story. You're just doing it through the court, which makes it more official that this is your story, whether it's a lie or not, that you're telling. And Manasseh is going to tell his story through the complaint.
Larry claims that this is not about money for Manasseh. It's about him getting his story out, which I don't believe for 1 minute. I definitely believe this is a money grab for not only Manasseh, but Larry Reid as well. If you recall, during a prior live, Larry actually discussed why he feels TDJ owes Manasseh money. He's also talked about a luxury car that Manasseh gifted to TD Jakes. He says Manasseh looked up to TD like a daddy figure. He claims that Manasseh has poured thousands of dollars into the Potter House ministry. He touched on the robocalls a bit, saying any good lawyer can make that disappear. He said one story has nothing to do with the other, but does it not speak to Manasseh's character? Doesn't it show how low he's willing to go for money? And if it isn't that big of a deal, then why doesn't Manasseh make his victims whole? Why hasn't he given them their money back?
Pay-to-pray scam. God's about to do something wonderful for you. Truck driver Eric Elmore thought his donation would bring blessings.
I just thought it would improve my quality of life and my current life situation.
And did it?
I know it did not.
Now, let me tell you the issue with Jake's team. Listen to me. You better take this seriously. Because y'all didn't contact DY. And I told y'all. And I know why y'all think you don't have to contact DY. So let me tell y'all something about DY. I ain't going to say exactly what it is. But DY record just ain't clean. I'm just going to put it like that. So there's a way, like they're doing Manasseh now. When these people are covering the topic, they're punching holes in his character because he had that whole robocalling thing. Which in my opinion, yeah, that's a thing. But it ain't got nothing to do with being a victim of predatory grooming and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Blah, 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 blah. Ain't got, the two don't even go. So a good lawyer could just disappear that in court.
As I mentioned before, Larry claims none of this would be happening to TD Jakes if he was never associated with Diddy. I actually believe the smear campaign, slander, character assassination, and provocative stories wouldn't have been pushed through the blogs had it not been for Larry Reid. I also believe TD Jakes wishes he never allowed Manasseh Jordan, Larry Reid, and others in that camp to get next to him in any kind of way. Listen to a bit of what he said during his January 14th sermon.
Abraham's father, Terah, dies in Haran. And we criticize Abram a lot for bringing Lot, but Lot was fatherless. And it isn't so much that he brought him, it says Lot went with him. What I have learned in 66 years of living, you have to be careful.
Claims to be the cream of the crop when it comes to reporting news concerning the Black church. But there was someone long before Larry Reid hit the scene. William McCray of Obnoxious Television already told us how Larry moves. Now, he alleges that Larry Reid pays bloggers to blog about church scandals to keep his hands clean while pretending to help those involved in the church scandals. He alleges that Larry attempted an elaborate scheme to erase his work so that Larry himself would be the voice of the Black church. Larry took payoffs disguised as marketing contracts, which were really extortion. He'd get paid to not talk about certain church scandals, but would pay up and coming bloggers to talk about it, ultimately releasing the story anyway. Now, these things are all alleged, and whether you like him or not, this is William McCray's story, and of course, his unofficial complaint against Larry Reid. Now, I will put the link to William McCray telling his story in my description. You all may have already seen this story, but I have to go back and listen to it, at least a piece of it again, because I may have said something wrong. I said that he said that Larry would pay other bloggers to put the story out, and that he may have said it that way, but I'm wondering, he may have said, while on one hand, Larry was helping the people, supposedly helping the people in the scandal, other bloggers would buy the story from Larry. So I have to go back and see if I misspoke or if I got it correct. But either way, the whole point of it was that Larry moves in a very corrupt way, allegedly, and according to William McCray's story.
Granted, a complaint is just a complaint. A complaint is just a story, and it cannot be the true or legitimate. However, sometimes it is a look into the truth.
During this live, Larry claims that Sarah Jakes Roberts found an inappropriate message involving TD Jakes and showed it to Sarita Jakes. He also talks about Manasseh and another alleged victim comparing messages and one particular gift. Now, Larry claims this person had a 17-year emotional relationship with TD Jakes, which hopefully we will get more details on through this story Manasseh plans to file through the courts. Because if both men were in a mentorship under TD Jakes' ministry, wouldn't it make sense that they receive the same exact messages and gift? If there were other mentees, did they also receive the same messages and gift? Could it have been an email blast sent to everyone, not even actually sent by TD Jakes? And maybe these two men received the same gift and message as 20 other mentees. We don't know. Larry alleges that Cassie and Christian Keys both received money to shut them up. Now, I don't know that to be true, but is this a money grab for Manasseh and Larry Reid? Are they hoping for a big payday? Are they banking on major news networks grabbing this story, hoping it will put the ultimate pressure on Jakes and his team and that they will fold and throw them their bone? Larry Reid continues to mention Diddy and TD Jakes being friends. What exactly does that have to do with Manasseh's story? If Manasseh's robocall crimes have nothing to do with this case, then TD Jakes' association with Diddy has nothing to do with it. Well, then again, maybe it does. Maybe it confirms some of our suspicions that Manasseh may have had an unhealthy obsession with TD Jakes. Because by Larry's logic, Manasseh would have never had this aha moment where he suddenly gains insight and realizes he was groomed in his 20s had TD Jakes never befriended Diddy. Is it jealousy? Maybe Manasseh should take some time to determine who really hurt him. Remember, this is the same man who's not always had a good relationship with his own father, and who was thrown into ministry at the age of 8 years old, I believe. But nonetheless, go ahead and tell your story. And as we await Manasseh's story to be told via the court system, maybe TD Jakes is gearing up to tell his story too.
The terror dies in Haran. And we criticize Abram a lot for bringing Lot, but Lot was fatherless. And it isn't so much that he brought him, it says Lot went with him. What I have learned in 66 years of living, you have to be careful who you let go with you. People, out of their own brokenness and need, will attach themselves to you just because you're going somewhere. And you gotta keep your, not just your vision, but your peripheral vision, so you can see who went with you. Lot went with him. Whenever God appears to you, other people want to go. Some of y'all are in trouble right now, not because of you, but who went with you. Yeah, and you felt sorry for them, and you had empathy for them, and Lot's father was Abram's brother, and he felt an obligation. And I'm learning that sometimes feeling an obligation is the arrogance of empathy, to think that you can be something that you were not designed to be to somebody else. Let me break this down. Some folks you can't fix because you didn't break. Let me say it to the people over here. Some folks you can't fix because you didn't break, but your heart is so big and you want to make a difference in their life, and you ignore the instruction of the Lord when he said leave them. You try to take them with you, and some of them, when you're trying to take them, they die because they weren't designed to go to the next level. So Terah died in Haran, and Lot hung on and still went with him. Now somebody say, I gotta do this by myself. I love you, but I gotta do this by myself. Peter, James, and John, you've gone as far as you can go, but I'm going a little further than what you're able to go. I gotta do this by myself. I gotta go by myself. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. I got to do this by myself. I took you on the mount. I showed you Moses. I showed you Elijah. But I can't show you this. In order to get into the flow that prepares me for my destiny, I got to do this by myself. I got to let you go. I got to let you go. But your heart is your strength and your weakness. The same thing that makes you strong and drew God's attention to you is the same thing that makes you vulnerable, that causes people to become ticks attached to you, sucking the blood out of you. I got a word for you.
Now, that was a snippet of TD Jakes' sermon from Sunday, January 14th. And maybe it's telling of what is to come, because just like Manasseh, I am certain TD Jakes has a story to tell too. Are you following this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, I am my sister's mirror. Talk soon. Bye.